Sorry, bad timing. Oh man, okay. What up, Keyforge? I'm Zoc, and we are here for the second round of the final refrain. We're gonna have Harm versus Gorlami, and I am just patching in Riku right now. Riku, are you there? Oh wait, I cannot hear you. Let me try something. That's not good. Okay. Can you hear me, Riku? No. Okay. Okay. That also did not work.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you, but hold on a sec. Technical difficulties. Hold on. Let's see. That's weird. Um,
If it, if it's too much job for you can just do it alone. I'm okay with that.
yeah, I think we are good now. Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that. All right, Riku, welcome everybody. Now I gotta set up your videos. So
Okay.
we at least got you in voice, and we will set this up. Do a little bit of cropping on the fly. All right, we are good to go, and we are excited here because we got a super cool matchup with Harmed and Gorlami. So let's jump right over and take a look at where we're at in the tournament and what their decks are all about. So we can see now we're in the second round with Gorlami taking out Mark Chung and Harm taking out Adzibad in the first round. Of course, Harmed having tons of Keyforge uh, acclaims, winning the KFC Sealed Open, winning the Spain Vault Tour, the Final Refrain Archon winner, the Alliance runner-up in a couple events, and Gorlami also with a lot of achievements, winning a couple Vault Tours, Alliance in Dallas, Sealed in San Antonio, and also getting top 8 for Alliance in the Worlds. So we have two very good players. So let's take a look at their deck. So let's start with Harmed. We have Calpidium. Tell me about this deck, Riku.
Yeah, so this is a very basic build that keep bringing the browser and come, uh, keep playing them into the board because there is also the VLK in the Gistoy and three ritual technically in Stallion, so they can keep play the ritual technically to bring back the browser and the cow to stop opponent from playing play action. I This is a very famous view in work last year because I believe that Damat win work last year with this view as well. So I was very surprised that the new rejection list didn't put the Bryozoac into the rejection list. So we will see a lot of build in this build because this build is very easy to build as well. So yeah,
Yeah, there's a lot of great or Grim Reminders builds out there, decks out there that can build similar things. Um, so it is also very fast to get that lock in. So that's going to be interesting to see how quick he can get that in. Moving on to Gorlami's deck. This is a mass mutations deck. Dis, Logos, and Tame, lots of disruption in Dis, lots of speed in Logos, and some really interesting um, creature control in Untamed with two Fangtooth Caverns, which could really potentially disrupt the Calps. We also have Eaton's Jar here, and we have no artifact control in Harm's deck. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see what comes online and when that can affect kind of the flow of these games.
yeah, I agree. I think Golami deck had all the answer to deal with the Bryo cow lockdown, but it will be up to him to up to how soon he can draw into the answer. Yeah, so it will be very interesting to see.
Yeah, definitely. He's also got a Reclaim by Nature, which could attack either Well of Memory or Island of Misfit Toys. But if the Bryo's out there, then not gonna take effect. So it'll be interesting to see what he gets online early. Okay, and
Mm.
it's going to be a pretty interesting matchup. We also saw in the first round, Gorlami really took advantage of the Fangtooth Caverns on his own side by killing a Key Frog and cheating out some keys. So that might come into play as well.
Yeah, I I I mean I have practiced the with Golami last week. So yeah, his deck can easily do the key cheats because he has auto encoder out, and then he can speed up the deck in very fast, and then got enough emperor to key cheat the key four. And that also that key cheat can do it without any action. So yeah, it can bypass the prior. So he just need to kill the cow.
Yeah, okay. It looks like our players are ready. Are you in there? Why don't you get in there and then we'll give them the go ahead. Um, and while we do, it's late in Gorlami's day. It's early in Harm's day. But let's get reach out to Christian T. Peterson. You know when should we be playing Keyforge?
There's nothing like Keyforge in the morning or evening or any time of day.
Yeah,
Any
I mean,
time of day. Yeah. All right. We're in. Let me switch on over. Okay. Give them the go ahead. And let me do a little bit. All right, here we go. I'm gonna switch around my players so it matches who's on what side.
yeah, we have Golami going first, and nobody Polygon for now. Then we have Golami choose Untame playing the Fangtooth Cavern.
Yeah, that's a great start. And we're getting some
Yeah, and
efficiency from Harmed as well with the New Frontiers. Going Geistoid, only getting a Boo and a Singing Scythe. The Boo could be quite critical to get a whole bunch into his discard, potentially archiving it with Winds of Death to set up it easier, or playing it with Biergeist to start getting it online. Ooh, another New Frontiers.
yeah, yeah, but this have only BLGs.
Yeah. So yeah,
Okay,
but
auto encode early is also a good one.
yeah, auto encoder and already discarding some cards to build his archives. Fangtooth Cavern taking out one of the Retro Technicians Lees. Harm going into Unfathomable. Beam of Forgetting hitting Lost in the Woods. And Bryozark coming out pretty early. With 3 creatures to its left.
Yeah, so I think if if Golami got enough action, he can just also apply all of them to kill the Brio, because right now there is not enough creature on the board to protect Brio.
Right, and he has a pretty small turn, playing Implosion to destroy 1 creature, discarding a Key Frog to archive a card, and then killing a creature with the Fangtooth Cavern. Okay, and Harm's going into Geistoid. Island of Misfit Toys coming out already. We know he's got Boo and Geist in his archive, or that he pulled from his archive. He boos his own discard.
Yeah, and on Shui Ritual traditionally in the discard.
Yeah, there's the Geist. He's already got 24 cards in the discard. Does he have the Winds of Death already?
No, the Queen of Death is
No.
also in the discard.
Yeah. But he does Geist the Calp, so he's got both the Calp and the Brio out. Mender coming down.
To perk the Keyforge, I think. Oh no, it's the Implosion.
Implosion. Yeah, Purging Implosion. Getting the ward on the Mender is really good also against more Brio protection. So already getting to be a pretty scary board that Gorlami's looking at here. He can take out the Calp with a Fangtooth, but that's not until the end of his turn. So the good news is with the autoencoder already online, even if he has to discard a bunch, he'll be doing some archiving. But so far, it looks like Harm's got a pretty good control here.
Yeah, I think next turn he will play Gistoy to use the island to get everything back on hand. Yeah, he didn't sub for the deck so that he can play Gistoy.
Yeah, he set it up perfectly to have everything in his discard, nothing in the draw. So he could have a huge Geistoid turn. Gorlami going Dis. Implosion to take out a ward. Infernus coming down. That's pretty critical. Getting the Winds of Death and the In Here Somewhere. Discarding Mark of Dis and Mindfire because of the Calp, but getting some archiving. And then destroying the Calp with the Fangtooth Cavern. Uh-oh. It looks like we lost Emperor Riku, and he disconnected as well, so he might be having some internet issues. We will see if we get him back. Harm brings back both modular exoskeleton and singing scythe to their hand. And goes into Geistoid. Booing his opponent. Let's see what he booed from Gorlami's. Looks like one of the Infernuses, a lot of speed in Logos, and the Reclaim by Nature were some of the key hits there, but no Eaton's Jar. Harm probably thinking about what's in the discard, what might be coming up for Gorlami to determine what his game plan is. Here comes Will of Memory. Purging Perimeter Alarm, Modular Exoskeleton, and Proto-Siphon to bring back Boo, Geist, and Mehmet. He boos the rest of Gorlami's deck, which was the other Fangtooth Cavern, which is pretty critical. However, this means the Eaton's Jar is either in hand, most likely in hand, since otherwise he would have played it last turn. Mehmet archives the Boo, and Harm plays Geist. He might even take the Infernus, and he does. Let's see what he decides to take out. Maybe the Fangtooth? The Fangtooth and a Mark of Disc. Yeah, taking away some of the control. There's another Mark of Disc we haven't seen as well. Mender Reaps and purges Reclaimed by Nature. And Key Frog and Mindfire because it has double Singing Scythe on top as well. And Harm getting to check with 8 Ember. Gorlami with 0 Ember. Just had his discards eviscerated, but he does have Eaton's Jar potentially. Can he start to build some momentum? Gorlami does go into disc, takes his archives. Essence scale comes down. Infernus fights off the Mehmet. Let's see. I didn't see what was on the top of his discard, if anything. Maybe nothing was. Eaton's Jar comes down to prevent Calp from being played. Markadis is just used to kill the Infernus. And Brabble comes down, and another Infernus comes down to purge the Mehmet. And then the Fangtooth Cavern just destroys the ward on Mender. But Harm gets to forge his first key. Now Gorlami also has a little bit of a board presence, which he could use to get rid of the Brio. It's getting pretty interesting. There's still a lot that Harm can do with both Will of Memory and Island of Misfit Toys on the board. However, nothing's in his discard right now because he just cycled. So he's having a good think about what direction to go next. Decides to go Star Alliance. Sensor Chief Garcia comes down. Hayden Oswin. New Frontiers. Picking Geistoid. And not getting any of the cards from Geistoid. Retro Technician Lee, Calp, and Beam of Forgetting all discarded. Now Gorlami is going to redraw this turn. Lost in the Woods comes down. Just to destroy a creature because Browzoric's still there. Eldest Baron Fandango come down, and then the Fangtooth Cavern finally destroys that very pesky Mender. So Gorlami building a little bit of a board here. Has potentially a few different ways to take out the Bryo. But Harm going into Geistoid, getting the Webster out. 8 power taunt next to the Bryo. Using the Well of Memory to destroy itself, booing himself. BR Geisting, a Retro Technician, getting everything in his discard, and then using Island of Misfit Toys to bring back all of his Geistoid. BR Geist, boo. Mender, booing himself again. Or sorry, booing twice into Gorlami's deck to see what he has. BR Geisting the Infernus. Taking away more key pieces, getting the second Markadis and the Lost in the Woods. Also, jumping up way up in Ember, up to 8 Ember already. Now the Well of Memory comes down, purging 4 cards, all unfathomable. Returning BR Guys, Double Boo, and Retro Technician Lee. Booing BR Geisting again to bring back a Retro Technician Lee. Mender comes down again. Getting up to 11 Ember in a very commanding place. Mender purging Implosion. Singing Scythe going on Retro Technician Lee's. Commanding board presence in one quick Geistoid churn. Gorlami does have a Fandangle on the board, but only 1 Ember, so it'd be hard to get enough Ember to then also get your creatures out and ready. Gorlami goes into Logos. 3 quick actions to destroy some creatures. Lycobot coming down ready, so he was able to get enough Ember. Lycobot Reaping to draw another card. Professor Torado coming down, Reaping, drawing cards, and another Eclectic Inquiry coming to destroy another creature. Harm goes quickly into Star Alliance, plays a survey, already a check for his third key. Hayden Oswin coming down, New Frontiers. Again for Geistoid. Retro Technician Lee coming down. Playing more Retro Technician Lees. Playing a Sensor Chief Garcia. Playing the Mender again. Just able to refill his board at a whim. Up to 10 Ember. At check for his third key. Harm making very good use of booing Gorlami and then taking out key components with Bjergeist and Furnace. Yeah, even though Kalp is gone, the damage is already done. The couple turns of both Bryo and Kalp early just killed Gorlami. He wasn't able to get any of his speed from Logos except for the autoencoder. Gorlami goes into Logos. Opposition Research, Neurosiphon, killing some creatures. Eclectic Inquiry. Reaping with Lycobot to draw some cards. It doesn't matter that he can get all his cards out ready. All his creatures out ready. Little too late. Geistoid Pod is insane. Yeah, that was an interesting call, Lord Judo, that he didn't use the Island of Misfit Toys the first cycle through his deck and decided to wait. Gorlami getting up to 13 Ember, but too little too late. Harm takes the first game. Oh yes, logs. Thank you for reminding me, Harmed. All right, good game. We'll have to see if Gorlami will be able to establish anything. He did get that one Fangtooth early, which helped, but just not quite enough. The Bryo coming really early did a lot of work for him. All right, on to game 2. Gorlami deciding to go second. They both keep their hands. No mulligans. Harm starting with a survey. And discarding Eldritch Sign-In. Gorlami going into Untamed, playing a Fangtooth Cavern, Lust in the Woods, Implosion, and discarding Eldest Bear. Interesting. I guess I would have
Sorry, I'm
died
back.
anyway. Hey, welcome back.
I have to call the the internet provider too. So sorry.
Yeah, no worries. We just finished up game 1, starting game 2. Harm goes in the Geistoid, plays in here somewhere, and then Boo. That was interesting that he didn't Boo first. unless he's got Winds of Death, and he's got Well of Memory. Okay. So that's probably he wanted to get more into the discard, playing in here somewhere first, and then Boo. Bjargeisting the Count, playing Well of Memory to purge Singing Scythe and Immersioneer. Bringing back Island of Misfit Toys and in here somewhere. And archiving Bjargeist and Boo within here somewhere. Ooh, this is looking bad already for Gorlami. What a start. Yeah, what a start.
Yeah, just turn 2 and
Gorlami does get an Infernus off. Also playing at Essence Scale. What is he gonna decide to purge?
he may want to perk in here somewhere and then maybe one ritual recently.
Harmed was pretty lucky in that none of the Halps or the Brio were in there. Of course, one of the Calps was on the board. Okay, he decides to purge in here somewhere in Mender and then discards 2 creatures because of the Calp. Fangtooth kills the Calp. Harm goes quickly back into Geistoid, booing himself, Bjergeisting the Calp, using Well of Memory to destroy itself, and then Island of Misfit Toys to bring it back along with the rest of the Geistoid. Bjergeisting the second Calp. The Webster comes down with the taunt. Booing himself this time. Yeah, Brio's in hand. I'm not sure if he had discard pips in Geistert or not. I didn't look at all the enhancements. Well of Memory comes down.
There's no discard pip in the Gistoy.
Okay.
I believe so.
But double Calp is also very, very good. Even though Fangtooth can kill one, still hard to deal with. Well of Memory bringing back both the Boos, Bjergeist, New Frontiers, both New Frontiers and Retro Technician Lee. This time, double Boo on Gorlami's deck. And then Bjergeisting to play the Infernus. We see the autoencoder of Fangtooth Cavern is there, but not not Inge Jar. He does purge the autoencoder in Fangtooth Cavern though. Mamet's the
Yeah,
Bjergeist. Yeah, this one is definitely over already.
yeah, I think so.
Already up to 12 Ember. Passing Churn. Gorlami goes into Untamed. Savage Clash to take out everything except for the Webster. Mamet archives a Boo, and then plays out a Fandango, which is killed by the Fangtooth Cavern.
This
Wasn't
will be
quite able to flip
amazing
his deck.
if they
Yep.
can come back from this. But yeah, Ham already keep one Rachel Tennyson on his hand so that he can continue to, or he goes to his store maybe with that. No,
He does have Bjergeist again because it's archived with the Mamet. Booing Gorlami. Webster fighting off the Infernus. Well of Memory destroying itself. Bjergeisting the Infernus again to take out. Yeah.
yeah, take out more.
Taking out both
Market.
Mark of 'em. 'Mark 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 of 'em. And getting up to check at 8. Gorlami goes into Logos. Neurosiphon does steal one. Draws a card. Lithologica into Professor Torado. Eclectic Inquiry. Another Lithologica. And Eclectic Inquiry. Opposition Research. So actually a very, very good turn from Gorlami. Getting 5 cards in the archive. Getting a couple creatures out there. And up to check for his first key. Harm goes into Star Alliance. He did set up the Retro Technician Lee play
But
before.
he's no longer haunted now.
Yeah, you're right. He is no longer haunted. He does have a New Frontiers. That gets 8 in the discard. And I believe he's got a couple Retro Technician Lees in hand.
Yeah, he got at least one on his hand.
Decides to not play him and just pass turn.
Yeah, because he want to take to take value from it right away, so he want to wait for one more turn to.
Oh yeah, opposition research. Yeah, good call. Okay, the Eaton Jar comes down, naming Bryo. Brabble comes down, and Furnace comes down.
I think he want to pop cow and ritual technically. Yeah.
Yep.
It can be very difficult for him to be Haltic right now. So because he only have about 20 card in the deck, I think.
Right, there's so many purged. Lord Judo says, so many jar targets even harmed him and don't agree on what the best target is. Gorlami decides to use Essence Scale to destroy Legobot and make Professor Torado fight off the Webster. And Fangtooth Cavern destroying a Brabble to make Harm to lose 1 Ember. Again, Gorlami wasn't quite able to cycle, so he's got a very juicy discard if Harmed is able to get into the Biergeisting again.
It takes some time thinking, I think.
Yeah, he's thinking about what to do.
Yugi's story.
Going Geistoid, playing a boo, deciding that he doesn't want to boo himself. He does Biergeist the Infernus and decides to purge Keyfrog and the other Infernus. Discarding Winds of Death. So just getting rid of some of the threats from Gorlami's deck while his full discard is there. Gorlami goes Untamed, plays Lost in the Woods, Gross Surge. Getting both Infernuses back into his deck. Reclaim by Nature to take out his own Essence Scale. Getting up to 5 Ember. Harm now goes Star Alliance because he's now haunted. He's probably going to generate a decent amount of Ember here. Definitely getting to check for his third key. Gorlami will have 2 Infernuses in hand, so we'll have to see if Harm's able to shuffle his deck here. He plays a Webster, a Survey, discarding Calp, Retro Technician Lee, then plays the Calp, Center Chief Garcia. He's not able to flip. And he's at check at 7, so Gorlami quickly goes into disc, plays the Infernus to purge Bjargeist and Boo, takes him off a check.
Yeah, but he cannot do anything now.
Yeah, and that's all that he does.
I mean, I don't think Ham needs to support right now because Gorlami already out of upper control, I think.
Yeah, he was very close to maybe turning it around, but ooh, the Calp coming down again with a Retro Technician Lee's also protected by Taunt with Gatewatcher up to check at 8. Don't think he's got a way to bring it back here. He goes into Logos. Cumex to draw, Lethologica, and discards 3 cards, and that's game. Good game.
Yeah, good game.
Capturing the logs. That was what a start by Harmed, having a huge Geistoid turn 2. Such a fast deck. Even with a lot of answers in Gorlami's deck, Harmed was just too fast and able to then also control Gorlami's discard pile with the Boos to then take it apart with the Infernuses and the Menders, purging a lot of the key answers.
Yeah. So that's the problem with the deck that answer because you need them at the right time, and you also need to play the autocoder early to have to make your deck faster.
Yeah. It's impossible to have all the answers when you need them. And then when Calp and Brio come down with a bunch of creatures, you're just, even if you have some of the answers, you can't even play them.
Yeah. I think despite they to find good cavern, they I think in Golami deck they a little bit lacking of richer control in house because they only like implosion and 2 mouths, so it would be very difficult for Golami to kill the cow in the turn
Yeah.
during his turn.
Yep.
The, his best is only the Lord the Wood and Savage class. But other than that, he cannot do many ritual control in this house. I think it's a very important witness in Golami pot.
Yeah, it's all hard to have everything in a deck. But yeah, you're right. Couldn't really answer both the Calp and the Brio. Didn't have a way to really do that. All right. Well, Harm moves on and to the round of 8. So that's exciting. We have more Final Refrain action coming in the next day. I think we have 3 more matches coming in the next day. Let me pull them up for you. We have in about 11 hours from now, we have Random Joe versus Snack on Captain Gale's Twitch. In about exactly 12 hours from now, X Kicks versus JDG on Kalos's Twitch, which is Red Panda 7777. And then in about 15 hours from now, we have Pomona Doce versus Damat on Floximals, Orion's Twitch. So lots more Final Refrain coming at you.
Yeah, and fortunately we will finish the week before the weekend, I think, because yeah, because a lot of people will go to Roseville this week. Are you going?
I am not going. No, unfortunately
Uh,
not. But yeah, good luck to everybody at the Vault Tour. And it's nice that everybody was able to schedule them before that as well. Okay. Anything else you want to shout out, Riku?
yeah, just thank you for watching and follow us for more magic this week. Yeah, that will be all.
All right. Thank you so much for coming on and joining me here. And thanks everyone for watching. Lord Judo says we have one more challenger spot, so we're looking for Alliance challengers to challenge some of the first round participants in the Final Refrain. So come on the Final Refrain Discord. Let us know. Test your skills against some of the best in the world. Let Lord Judo know. All right, and with that, I think that's a stream. Thanks everybody for watching. We will see you next time. As always, forge responsibly. See you later, everyone. Bye.
Yeah, bye.